What up, y'all? It's your boy Juno the Mix, and today we're gonna do an easy mix on this rap song that I have. So we do have the multi stems, and I want to show you the before and after. So the before.
They hope, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a happy meal. How this fuck up in the booth? Feel like I done popped the pill. How the fuck
And the
your jury
after.
fake, but always claiming that you're real? Bitch was trying to link, I told her I ain't got a card. Different bitch was trying to link, I'm going pick her up tomorrow. I ain't in no nigga section, you can meet me at the bar.
The first thing I like to do is mix my drums. So since I don't have a kick, I do have my lows on these bass style instruments. And we are going to do this. Make them bigger so you can see it. So the first part, you've got this first chill, mellow one right here. Let me bypass this. So that's kind of what it sounds like. I just throw a preset on here. Kind of gives it like a little bit more body on that low end, but it also makes it a tad bit muddy. So I go ahead and EQ it. So these are kind of like making it kind of blanketed. So that gives me back more clarity. I throw on an SSL. I just wanted a tad bit of that kind of mid frequency here. I think about like between 800 to 1000, just a little notch, and then getting that SSL color. So you see, it gives it like a very slight saturation. And then we've got nothing on the Spectre. I am doing a little bit of compression. As you can see, when you look at these waveforms, there's like quieter ones and then really peaky, louder ones. This is just taking the tops a little bit and bringing them down. So look at the playhead and watch when the compressor engages. So it makes everything consistent and kind of just stable. I didn't really want it to be like very transient because I felt like the hi-hats, the claps, and the samples and the vocals, there was already a lot going on. So compression there. And then I also added on imaging. So it kind of just spreads it out a little bit more. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So that's that mix on that initial low end. And then let's go to this one over here. So that's nothing. Same thing, got a preset on here. You see that immediate like low end subtle boost? Same concept, kind of taming that low end that I kind of enhance and demodify. Same thing here, except I'm boosting more of that 300 on this 808. So you can see every time I bypass and unbypass, there's that slight color that I get from the SSL. Spectre, I did end up boosting a little bit more here as well. So let me turn these off so you can see it better. Boom. I just wanted a lot more energy, and this kind of saturator worked really well for that. Same thing for compression, and then I brought it up in volume too. So here, just a little bit. Nice. Okay, the next thing is the claps, hi-hats, perks, and overheads. So for this, I really just focused on EQing So taking out like some space down here on most of them to, or not most of them, a few, yeah, a few of them to make space for the 808, and then kind of containing some like harshness that each of these have individually. I do like variate the compression between them all, right? So I want you guys to look at the different styles of compression that's happening for all of them. So we have clap, we have overhead, we have hat 2 and hat 1. Look at the like attack release and look at how much they're actually reducing by. So if I do this, you can see better. So it's very minimal compression on these. And if I turn them off, here's what they sound like. They kind of sound like they're all doing their own thing. So by compressing it and then balancing the volume a little bit more, they sound a little bit more consistent. And they also have different attack and release times. So if I do slower attack, that means I want the transient and bounciness. If I do a faster attack, then that means I want it to contain and kind of sit back just a little bit more. I don't want all of them to be very transient, so they're all different attacks. And then the release is just what feels good for that particular sound. So let's do the clap and close all of these and listen to the compression on the clap. So this attack is later. I want it to be more transient but controlled. Notice how it's a little bit more upfront, but it's also controlled and it's still transient and smacking. That's how I like this particular clap. Moving on to the hat. This one, we kind of want to tuck it back. There's two hats, right? So I want to compress it a little bit more than the clap. So together. And then let me throw this hat 2 in. Overhead. And perks. Great, so now they're all working together, and then I throw them into a bus which has Orion. Just really bringing them up in level and applying a basic kind of color on it. Okay, so here I'm also doing like taming on the harshness. Since there's so many of them going into Orion, it kind of excites it a little bit more than I want to. So I'm taking out these frequencies here. Like that's a little bit more excited than I want to. And then since there's so much of them, I want to take away some frequencies here as well. Just kind of darken them and de-excite them. Like I said, going into this Orion, that lift, color and harmonics, they're kind of gonna do a number on them. So if you keep these modules on, kind of reduce them. If it's just the claps, right? Like there's no kick or anything, kind of reduce the lift a little bit, EQ it a slight bit. I also did soothe on here. I felt like I needed more kind of de-harshing. And then another compressor to kind of bring them all into unison. So it's mainly capturing the clap, which I could go down to the track level and turn down the clap, right? But I just felt like doing it on a compressor over here, and it sounds nice. Everything sounds very nicely leveled to each other as far as all the claps go. So now we have the claps in 808s, and then the sample. So I'm gonna leave everything else on here wet, but the sample, I'm gonna turn that to dry, and we shall listen to what's happening on here. Okay, so let's solo this really quick. So EQ on, I felt like it was just really sharp on this sample compared to the rest of the body of work. So just taking out some of these. Like that, it's really wide up there on that sample. That ew, no, no, no. And then over here too. I could probably leave that one on. Alright, SSL for color. Looks like I'm not really doing anything but a small boost around 2K-ish. Since I took all that out, right, I'm gonna color it back a little slight bit with this SSL. Yeah, just throwing this on here and giving it a small boost like gives it a nice subtle color. Like the 808s I did this, the samples I did this, it sounds really nice. And then I also added Spectre for a little bit more kind of just sparkle. So it opens it back up again after I did that, and then a limiter just for a little bit of a volume push. So again, here is the before. After. Notice how it sounds like prettier, not too harsh, a little bit fuller. Um, I like what I did there. I like what I did there. All right, so my thought process for mix bus is I throw on God particle and I make sure that my meter is hitting within this little rectangle and it's not going into the reds. And I don't use the limiter on the God particle. I leave it at 100 and then I kind of turn it down or up based on how I like for this song. So let's just listen to the instrumental going into the God particle. Everything else is off on the mix bus for now. Nice. So gain staging done for my mix bus. All right. I add on a limiter, I go into delta, and then I get around maybe 2 to 4 decibels of gain reduction at max. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I can turn it down if I want like more dynamics and not super slammed, but 2 to 4 decibels is cool for me. I really like IRC 1, 2, transient and modern. Those are the most that I use. I leave my character at 2, and then I'll just, every song's different, but I'll kind of mess around with these just to kind of see like what algorithm sounds the best. But for this one, I liked ooh, IRC1. And then this is a really, really nice preset that I throw on at the very start of my mix bus. So this is mix head, and it's like a saturator, right? So let me do a off and then on. So immediate openness. I I really love what it's doing there. I really just use this one, or I'll go to default and I'll mess with the drive and the high filter adjust. I don't know what this one is called. And then I'm gonna leave this thing right here off for now, and I'll come back to it at the end. Okay, moving on to vocals. The way I like to do it after mixing my beat is I will do the solo on the clap and the 808 space kick, but I don't have one here. So the reason behind that is I already have that relationship of my drum groove, right? My boom, clap, boom, clap. Where that clap is, I want my vocals to be where the clap or the snare is. A little bit above, a little bit under, or just kind of where that is. I call that like my anchors, right? My drum volume is not going to move. I'm not going to change the volume on it a whole lot, if any at all. And I'm going to bring my vocal to where it is. And that's how you make the vocal sit in the beat. So I'm going to solo the vocals here, and I'm going to bypass the processing that I do have on here. So listening to what I want soloed, here is how it sounds.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a Happy Meal. How this fuck up in the booth? Feel like I done popped a pill. How the fuck your jury fake, but always claiming that you're real?
So listen to where that clap is, and I'm gonna add in the hi-hat too. First thing I do is I compress and I look for bringing it up in volume where it's not going over the snare volume by too much, but it's present, right? So the attack is 1, release is 7 by default. If the vocals like they got really loud parts and really quiet parts and then really loud parts, I'll try to go like maybe 3 to 7. Um, or I will clip gain it to where they look something a little bit more like this. So once they're kind of like this, I will just do 1 to 3 decibels of compression. So look at this gain reduction meter, and you can see what I'm talking about as far as how much I'm reducing by.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a Happy Meal. How this fuck up in the booth? Feel like I done popped a pill. How the fuck your jury fake, but always.
So it's very nice and upfront. It could be lower, but I'll adjust that at the end. Now, the big thing that we are hearing here is the room noise. So just listening to the vocals, listen to that room noise.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a Happy Meal. How this fuck up.
No, I don't want that. So I'm gonna pull up this plugin. It's called Clear, 50 bucks, pretty goated. I'm gonna take down ambience, voice reverb, and it's gonna shut that room noise right out. So here we go.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a Happy Meal.
Instant, gone. I have another plugin here. It's the Deverb, I think, by Waves, and you can try this one out too.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the.
But you can still kind of hear like that fan or that woo 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 woo. So I liked Clear on this by itself. And the next thing we're gonna do after compression is de-essing. I like Pro de-esser. You can use any de-esser.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a Happy Meal. How this fuck up in the booth? Feel like I done popped.
So you can see this is where it's actually attenuating. It's mostly on the like the F's and the S's and the T's.
Tell these niggas how they hoe. Meal. How this fuck up in the booth? Feel like I done popped.
So if you're doing something like this,
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby mama bought the kids a Happy.
too much, too much. I want to be just where that volume is. I want to be just right under where it's peak.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga, baby.
So it's not always engaging, right? And then I will do an EQ. So EQ is literally like the most difficult concept to understand. And what you're really looking to take out is harshness, boxiness, or muddiness, and unwanted low end. So think of it that way, right? On the high end, there's harshness we want to take out. In the middle, there's some kind of unnatural boxiness. And then at the end, it's where we don't really need like that 40 to 100 to 150. Or sometimes I do like it and I don't cut it. So audibly, that's what I'm talking about. But visually, let's check out what we're talking about here. So let me do this. And I want to say low end wise, sometimes we don't need these frequencies all the way down here. Like maybe I don't need that content, right? Next up is this middle here.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal. Hot as fuck up in the booth. Feel like I done.
So here is your boxiness, muddiness, or unnaturalness. And then here is our high end, around 2K and up, which is kind of like harshness.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal.
So it's basically like what's overly excited up there that I can take out. So with those three bands in mind, let's take a look at what I cut out. So I took out 150.
Tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal. Hot as fuck up in the booth. Feel like I done popped a pill. How the fuck your jury fake, but always claiming that you're real? Bitch was trying to link, I told her I ain't.
I could probably keep that in there. With vocalists that don't have, or I can take it less. Vocalists that don't have a lot of low end baritone content, you don't have to like do that cut, but I just do that there sometimes. So going into these kind of middle ones right here, what we're looking at is like this basically.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal.
Okay, so a good idea or thought process to understand low mids and mids of a vocal is like when you're standing next to someone, right? And you're talking to them, that's how like they sound naturally, right? So when I want to take out these frequencies, it's because there's too much present and it sounds unnatural. So if there's too much presence, it sounds unnatural.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause
right? Like what that doesn't sound natural at all. So if I take it out,
hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal.
it sounds more natural. But I don't have to like do a very wide one like this, and I don't have to do it that much. So instead of doing that, I'm taking out specific frequencies within that range that I felt like, oh, there's too much of it and it sounds unnatural for the low end of this vocalist. I'm going to take it out. So these are the frequencies I'm taking out.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal. How the fuck up in the booth? Feel like I done popped the pill. How the fuck your bitch was trying to link? I told her I ain't got a car. Different bitch was trying to link. I'm going pick up.
I could do without this as it sounds like a little bit more natural that way. We'll come back to it if we need to. But that's kind of the low end mid frequency to clear up and make it more clear. Right now is kind of the high end harshness that is around 2K and above for me.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck.
So I feel like these frequencies above 2000, they're like really scratchy and excited, right? So if I just boost them to emphasize it.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal.
Like it's too excited, too scratchy. If I bring them back down.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck.
It's a little bit more listenable. It's not too harsh. So finding frequencies up there will be nice to take out. Usually it'll be like 2K.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a
3K.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby.
Right, 2, 3K, 4K. Oh, and when you're EQing, don't do 30 because this will look like a small cut, but it's actually 15 decibels. Bring it to 3. Bring it to 3. And that way you can be a little bit more conscious about the decisions that you're making. So you can see my cuts aren't super drastic. If anything, they're more dynamic, except this one. I really wanted to take that one out.
Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal. Hot as fuck up in the booth. Feel like
So everything is a little bit more tamed and in the mix is what it sounds like.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama.
Very nice and dry. And then I just add on these, it's called effects. So plate verb.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy.
And then a 1/4 and a 1/8 ping pong.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe, cause I like to steal. Fuck a nigga baby mama, bought the kids a Happy Meal. Hot as fuck up in the booth. Feel like
So you notice how it adds like dimension, kind of makes the vocals a little bit interesting. And then I have an imager on here. And what I'm really doing is keeping that low end and that vocal more mono and then everything else a little bit more stereo. So this is the more mono sources.
Hey, tell these niggas how they hoe.
I want it down the middle a little bit more.
Nigga baby mama bought the kids a Happy Meal. In the booth, feel like.
And then these, I want it a little bit more stereo and wide.
Told her I ain't got a car, different bitches tryna link. I'm going pick her up tomorrow. I ain't in no nigga section, you can meet me at the bar. Drunk as fuck, I lost my key, so I ain't really going far. I just fucked this wood up, bro. You got a guard ever since a fetus, bitch. I knew I was gonna be a star. Skinny nigga, but my pocket's heavy, so I'm.
So notice how there's a little bit more separation, and what stays or should be in the middle is a little bit more focused, and that's great. It sounds just a tad bit better. All right, so at the very end, I'll kind of reevaluate my relationship with the vocals on where it needs to be, or if my claps are too loud or too quiet and things like that. So I'm gonna just do a quick run through on that.
Tell these niggas how they hold, cause I like to steal. Car, different bitches tryna link. I'm going pick her up tomorrow. You can meet me at the bar. Drunk as fuck, I lost my key, so I ain't really going far. I just fucked this wood up, bro. You got a guard ever since a fetus, bitch. I knew I was gonna be a star. Skinny nigga, but my pocket's heavy, so I'm feeling large. You can get whatever, bae. I pay that Fashion Nova cart. I got codeine in my cup like I'm contagious. Need my money paid in full. Ain't no afterpay payments. Put some ice on my wrist and my bitch. We finna go skating. I ain't even touch an M yet, and nigga still hating. Damn, that shit outrageous.
Cool, that's it for the mix. Super easy mix. If you want the session or stems, join up on the Discord, link in the description, and you shall receive. Any questions, comment down below, and I can kind of help answer it for you. I would consider this like an easier mix to do out of all the stems that I have, so definitely take this and try to do minimal processing on it and use what I showed you in the video. That mix head, God particle combo, amazing. Orion goes well on drums and bass, and then everything else like sample, vocals, hats, it's usually just EQ and compression. Don't overthink it. Spectre, I would like to highlight, is a great plugin to use also. And that's it. We'll see ya.